Hey guys, what's up? It is like 10 a.m. I still have work to do. I have an audition tomorrow, but I'm here because I love doing this. Today we're gonna talk about someone's sister sound like she's getting catfished. All right, is this gonna be on next season? Is Catfish still running? We'll see. And then someone else is asking if they should be paying for someone's babysitter to go on a date. Now I think we know the answer to that last one, but before we get into both of these stories, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, friends. Help me to grow this channel more consistently. What the hell does that mean? I also need to get better at not cussing. Maybe in life. Tyler, blurt these out. Let's get it started, friends. Okay, we're actually going to start with the one about the babysitter. So it says, our date went really well, but she, 31 female, asked me, 34-year-old male, to pay for her babysitter after. Okay? After. Now you think that side was to be like, oh, is there a friend here? No, I was making sure that I was recording because that would have been awkward. Okay? I haven't been on a date for a long time and need some advice. Okay. Hi, I'm a 34-year-old male and I just had my first date after a divorce. Well, good for you. Good for you for getting back out there. I met this girl, 31-year-old female, at my friend's party and we really clicked. After the party, I texted her and we have been texting for about 3 weeks. Nice. I asked her out a couple times, but also she told me another time because she had to take care of her 2 kids or had to be at work. Okay. It's always good when they give you a reason. Not like, no, but like, no, because then it's like, okay, great. Then I'm going to assume that I can ask again. But also, after you put your hat out there, you did your part. Last night, we have been texting and decided to finally go on a date today. I picked her up and we went to have a dinner at a nice Greek place and then went to a bar to have a few drinks. Cute. The bar was close to her place, so I walked her home. She gave me a kiss and we said goodbye. The date went really well. Oh. Ooh, what kind of laugh was that? Like I'm smoke as long as after I just said I should stop cursing. That's crazy. I'm so sorry. Tyler, bleep those out, please. On my way home, she texted me to let me know when I'm home, and so I did. We have been texting again and setting up another date, but then she asked me if I could send her 100 euros. All right, so they're across the pond, but like that's for British people who use pounds. They're in Europe. Great. 100 euros for her babysitter this evening. Okay. I knew she was a single mom and the dad is absent, but since I paid for the whole date, I think paying for a babysitter as well is a bit over the top. I would agree with that. I also have a daughter from my marriage and I paid my nephew to take care of her for the night. Also, I'm not sure about 100 euros. How many kids does she have? 2 kids for a few hours. It feels like a lot. How long were y'all out? Yeah, I know that I'm going to pursue this girl. Her kids will be a part of my life, and I have no issue with that. Yeah, clearly, if that was going to be an issue, you would have not asked her on a date. Most people my age, including myself, have kids. Yeah, the issue is I don't know how to feel about her asking for money after a first date. Absolutely. There was no prior agreement. She didn't mention any babysitter. I was married for 8 years, and this was my first date after a long time. So maybe it's normal, and I'm just overthinking this. Is this normal? Absolutely not. That was me, not what the Reddit says, or what he wrote, what OP wrote. What would you do in this situation? I said, girl, that's not my problem. You want to date me? That's fine. But all right, hold on. TLDR, I invited this girl on a date, and after the date, she asked me to pay for a babysitter. Okay, before we get into the comments, people often say, like, as if you're dating someone that already has kids, it's like, you're also dating the kids. And I'm like, yes, by that, it's like, no. I'm dating the mom. That's who I am dating. I'm getting to know her. These kids, what if I don't even like them? Actually, that's not what I wanted to say. That's funny. I wanted to say, what if I like the kids? Like, oh, they're cool people, but I hate their mom. But I wouldn't find that out till dating, right? And it's like, what am I supposed to do? Be like, hey, I hate you, but I will be a father to your kids. That don't make no damn sense. So it's like, come on, like obviously he needs to get to see if he likes her, and if he does, and their relationship starts going well, it's like, okay, great. Well, like I have a kid and you have kids. Let's find a way in which we can like meet, and get to know each other. How do we start integrating each other in our lives? But like you go in with the knowledge of like, I'm dating this person. If it works out, I will be meeting their kids. I will need to be some sort of parental figure, right? You might not be a father figure, but like a parental figure. Well, the dad's not in the life, so maybe you will end up being the father figure. But like when you're dating someone with kids, the mindset is like, I will get to know you. If this goes well, I know that you have kids, so I know that I, in some way, shape, or form, will be a parental figure. It's not, and you need to take care of my kids right now. I don't even know you. Do you even know her middle name? And it's wild because I don't know how you would feel. They talked about this on the Real Daytime show before it got canceled. R.I.P. But it's like, it's your responsibility to take care of your kids. I understand if you want to date and get to know someone, if you want someone that's a provider that's going to be able to do that, that's wonderful. It is your responsibility to take care of your kids and make sure those things are set. You should not be looking for someone to do that. And if you want to date, but you can't afford a babysitter, then figure out ways in which you can make that happen, or ask beforehand. Like it feels really icky. I don't know how I could never feel that comfortable. And even if I'm like, I really want to go on a personal date with you, but I'm having trouble finding an affordable babysitter because of my situation, maybe I would have that after a few. No, maybe I wouldn't, but at least I could understand coming after a few dates, or finding a date where it's like both kids are going to the park, so they're playing together, and then you're getting to talk one-on-one. There was a solution to be had. You ain't got no friends, be like, a girl, I'm trying to make some moves, but these kids, can you just watch them for 2 hours this week? I won't ask you again. And then the next month you ask a different friend. Come on now. They said create a community. Have your mama fly into town, be like, I'm going on a run, and run to his place. Hey. Yeah, some of the comments say, no, that's incredibly tacky, especially since you paid for the date. That part, it's nasty work. It sounds like she's trying to take advantage of you and you simping for it. No, it's not normal. I know you've been out of the dating game for a while, but like, you're like, this feels weird. It is weird. It's weird and tacky and like, it's nasty work is what it is. All right, story number 2. Also, don't forget, like, if you think that that is very tacky to do, and or like what are some suggestions that people could do instead of, like, again, like going to the park, feel free to drop that into the comments. um I can't listen, my pride and my ego, I could never. I'd rather be single than be out here begging for money so I could pay for a babysitter to go on a date that I'm not paying for. No. If he want to offer it out of his own will without me saying something, that's one thing. Or maybe if you set it up, the fact, I'm not in it. I'm not in it. To each their own, whether right or wrong. Whether right or wrong. All right, now actually story number 2. All right, this is the last story for today. We have my sister, 34-year-old female, has been in a relationship for 5 years with a guy she barely sees and can't even call. There's at least 32 episodes of Catfish that sound just like this. Am I, 39-year-old male, right to think that she's being taken advantage of? Absolutely. As the title said, I'm afraid for my sister, and I already tried a small intervention, but it didn't help. Well, you tried. You did your part. Sometimes people have to learn their lesson the hard way. In Trinidad, they have a saying. We have a saying, because I'm Trini American. Those who don't hear does feel, which means you don't want to listen, you're going to feel it. They usually say that before a meeting, which is like, oops. But for this, in general, it's like you are going to feel the pain of the thing that you just refuse to listen to. So, womp to the womp. We're a family of 5 siblings raised in a very strict and religious household. Our parents didn't leave much room for individuality or independence when we were young, especially for my sisters, as I'd even say that being a girl made things much harder growing up. And that makes sense, especially that's very consistent with like conservative households. I was lucky enough to leave for university and eventually moved abroad. My sister, on the other hand, stayed behind in our small village, living with our parents after dropping out of college at master level. So she got her undergrad already. Okay. She never really got the chance to live independently as an adult and has been working retail jobs just to get by. Okay. And now she is now living with my aging parents and my little brother. A few years ago, she told me that she met someone from Asia. She described him as a PhD student studying in a neighboring country. At the time, she seemed nervous about introducing him to our parents, which makes sense given their expectation that we marry within our community. Gotcha. Okay. She told me that she met someone from Asia. Let's do a little geography. Where's the map? Put it on a map. Okay, great. So someone from Asia. Okay. Oh, wait. She described him as a PhD student studying in a neighboring country to her. So I'm like, are you Middle Eastern? We in that part? Or are you in Europe and they're studying in Europe? Or in the US and they're just Asian? I thought there was a clue here, but there's not. There's actually. Okay, not that it matters. Not that it matters. All we know is probably foreign. Great. Um, I didn't think too much of it, but now 5 years have passed, and she still is italicized, hasn't introduced him to the family. I've since introduced my own partner, who's of a different ethnicity and religion, and to my surprise, it went well. Probably because my parents are desperate for grandkids at this point. Hey, look, beggars can't be choosers, all right? My sister knows this, so that's not the real blocker anymore. It could still be a blocker for her. She's like, I know this worked out well for you, but like, it doesn't guarantee it'll be okay for me. It opens the door for sure. But like, just keep that in mind. It doesn't mean like well, I did it right. It could be like okay, well, one, like I had a friend that they came out as gay, and the parents like, okay, and then his younger brother came out as gay, and they weren't happy about it. They were like, not both of you. They said we're allotted one queer in the family. Blessed be. Here's what worries me about her relationship. We got a list. Number one, she's only allowed to text him, never call. That in itself is what I can't even hear your voice. But sometimes, yeah, I don't know if you've been on Hinge recently. They have something where you can do a voice recording, and a lot of people do it. And I'm like, I don't know why, because you surely do not have a nice voice, or you made a very piss poor joke. So maybe that's a blessing in disguise. They only meet 2 to 3 times a year, allegedly. There's been zero progress in 5 years. No plans to move in together, get engaged, or even visit more often. Yeah, maybe he's buying time while he's getting his PhD. They're long programs. He needs someone to talk to, or text to. I know for a fact he has insulted her appearance in a way to no bueno. My other sister, 29-year-old female, told me she's sent him money and gifts. And there it is. They only meet 2 to 3 times a year. How? Where? Receipts. The people want to know. When I tried to talk to her about this, it didn't go well. She shut down and started hiding things from me. Yeah, because she is blinded by quote unquote what she believes is love, and or she's too far in and she feels embarrassed. So she's like, I can't talk about it because like she's made peace with the fact of he's never going to see her. And she's like, but maybe one day he will. And you bringing in logic and reason is like killing her dream that she knows is a dream that probably isn't going to happen. I just want to help my sister see the reality of the situation and move on before more years of loss. Absolutely. It does feel like she is in a sect and met a really toxic person. Yeah, too many things have compounded for her to get here, right? It's probably a lack of self-esteem that comes from her being a woman in a small village in this conservative household that has probably weighed on her. The fact that she went to school, she sounds like, if I'm reading this correctly, she has an undergrad degree but dropped out of the master's and now is working retail in a way that makes it seem like you're not even using your undergraduate degree. So it probably feels like hit after hit, and then the parents might feel disappointed. They don't have the grandkids. You got to move away. And she found someone that she can just talk to, and she probably only feels a real connection with this person at this point. And she is so attached because for her, this person is just a representation of, or no, this person's like an outlet. Instead of having a therapist, she has a fake boyfriend. ooh, that hurts. Anyway, so the question, I'm genuinely considering hiring a private investigator to look into him without her consent. My girlfriend thinks that's a psycho move. I don't think it's a psycho move, but is it honestly? No, I think she needs to be like, you don't understand. Be like, actually, well, here's the data. I don't think it will change anything immediately, but I do think it she's not going to be able to dispute like certain facts, and I think that will just sit with her for a little bit, and I think not right away, but I think in a few months, maybe a few years, she would be able to address the things that you were mentioning. Um, come through the Jizzle. What I can point out about her is a very low self-esteem on her side. Yep, which is what I guess. And she is way too attached to her sense of comfort or afraid to try. Yep. Yeah, so this all adds up. I was hoping for an update. There is no update. Well, this is actually like very new. This was posted an hour ago. So he's likely married. Can you look at social media online? So someone posted that. Well, that was the first place I tried to dig, but didn't find anything. I just think he's fake. Are you sure she actually met him? That's what I'm wondering. This sounds like a catfish, or that he has a whole other life that he's hiding from her. It's really weird that she can only text him and they never talk. I agree. She did meet him a few times. Again, that's her word, which it's easier to be like, no, we've done this thing. I mean, like, who gonna snitch on her? You know? Like, how you gonna find out? You gonna talk to him? Like, no. She could be lying, be like, no, I did meet him. Yes, I agree, it's too weird. Have you ever seen a picture of him? I don't think she actually met him. Hot take. I don't think she actually met him. And if she has, I don't know. I'm not convinced. And you shouldn't be convinced too. 2-3 times a year, but pics her, it didn't happen. When did that come out? 2000. Anyway, it don't matter. All right. So the long and the short of it is, I understand your care for her. It sounds like your relationship is already rocky. And so I would say, like, if you think that there's still enough trust for you to like solely work with her, then I would take that route. If you're like, honestly, she's too far into Lulu land, I might need the private investigator. Just do it. I don't think it's a psycho move. Okay, LOL. Hey, look at this wig. My camera died, but there wasn't much more to say. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you guys soon. Love ya. Bye. Like the video.